If you want to fully prepare for a PTE core without failure, check out our self-paced course link in the description. We guarantee your improvement, and if you don't see it, get all your money back. More details in the description. Let me ask you something very important. Have you ever heard a PTE core prompt and thought, oh no, I only have 20 seconds to prepare. How do I even start? Here's the secret. The test is not trying to trick you with vocabulary or grammar. It's testing you whether you can organize your thoughts quickly, speak clearly, and handle everyday situations in English. So, in this video, I'm going to break down every single step, give realistic examples, and show you a proven method to respond to a situation task under pressure. So by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to say, how to structure it, and how to make the examiner feel like you are in control. Okay? Now, let me tell you about this task. What this task is really testing. This response to a situation is deceptively simple. You get a short prompt up to 60 words describing a real life situation, and you will have 20 seconds to prepare, 40 seconds to respond. And here's what examiners are listening for. They listen for your comprehension, whether you understand the scenario quickly, and then for coherence, which means are your ideas structured logically or not. And then they also look for the relevance, whether you're answering the exact situation or not. And finally, for fluency and pronunciation. Are you speaking in a natural way, not hesitating or pausing too much? And of course, confidence and appropriateness too. So they'll check, do you sound like someone who can handle the situation in real life? Got it? Now, here is a strategy to excel this task. I call it as a three-step anchor response method. Step one, capturing the key points, okay, in 20 seconds. So we call it as a preparation stage. Here is the trick most students miss. You only have 20 seconds. That's more than enough if you know how to structure your thinking, right? The first thing you do is listen carefully to the prompt and don't panic if it's dense. You have to focus on who is involved, what the problem is, and what the desired outcome is. Now, quickly, you can jot down 3 to 4 anchor points. So these are like mental GPS, which coordinates guiding your answer. For example, scenario, team member ignoring ideas, and then the problem, say for example, lack of cooperation or the project at risk, and the goal, ensure teamwork and project success, then the action ideas like private talk, encourage discussion, assign tasks. So these are some of the examples that I'm giving you. Now you can notice how we break down it into simple categories, right? The actor, problem, goal, solution. So this gives your step to structure your response in 3 parts. So this one we call it as a speaking stage. Now it's time to speak. But before you open your mouth, think of your response as 3-act play. The introduction, main response, and then the conclusion. When you're saying the introduction, you have to acknowledge the situation first. You can start by showing the examiner that you understand the problem. Example, if I noticed a team member was not cooperating, then so and so, you can just continue with that. So this signals calmness, awareness, and control. Then the second one is the main response, that is the action plan. This is the heaviest part. You can outline what you would do step by step. You can use linking words like first, next, then, finally. So this makes your response coherent. Example, I would first have a private conversation to understand their concern. Then I would encourage open communication during team meetings, ensuring everyone's ideas are heard. I would also assign clear responsibility to each member so everyone contributes equally. So, like this type of structuring is required using the linking words. And finally, of course, the conclusion. So, you have to mention the outcome or reasoning. Wrap up by explaining why this approach works. When you're giving any approaches, you have to explain why that will work, right? So, for example, by creating the structured, supportive environment, the project would stay on track and all team members would feel valued and accountable. Got it? And remember to speak naturally and confidently. So, this is the final stage. Okay. Finally, it's all about delivery. You might have the perfect plan in your head, but if your speech is hesitant, rushed, or monotonous, then it loses impact. Here's how to nail it. First, pace yourself. Aim for a steady rhythm. Not too fast, not too slow. 40 seconds feels long if you panic, but it's plenty if you control your pace. And use natural pauses. You can take tiny pauses to breathe, think, or emphasize the points. It makes your response sound professional and you can link your ideas smoothly. So remember the transitional words or phrases like therefore, additionally, in order to finally act like glue for your sentences. And you have to show confidence, not memorization. So even if you have practiced, pretend you are talking to a real person, not a test. Examiners want natural communication. Got it? So let's move on to an example here. Here is your prompt. You have just been assigned a team project at work, and one team member consistently ignores your ideas during meetings. How would you handle the situation to ensure the project succeeds and everyone works together effectively? So, if you want, you can just pause the prompt, try to apply the stages that we have discussed so far, and come up with your response. Okay? Now, let me give my response here. If I noticed a team member was not cooperating, I would first try to speak with them privately to understand their concerns and perspective. I would reassure them that their input is valued and encourage them to share ideas openly during meetings. Next, I would establish a clear expectation for collaboration and then propose specific tasks or responsibilities to make sure everyone contributes. I would also set short check ins with the team in order to monitor their progress and provide feedback by creating a structured, supportive environment and emphasizing the importance of teamwork. I believe the project would proceed more smoothly and all members would feel included and accountable. Okay? Now, let me give a breakdown of my response. The first thing is I have acknowledged the situation. If you have seen here, I have started like if I noticed a team member was not cooperating, so which shows the awareness and empathy, right? Then the action plan, private conversation plus open communication and structured responsibilities, right? So that is my action plan. And the outcome or reasoning. So I have mentioned about the structured teamwork, which means everyone feels included, that promotes project success. Got it? So this is how your response should be. There is another prompt. Let's see here. You are at a friend's party and two guests are having a misunderstanding that leads to an argument. How would you intervene to prevent further tension? So, this is our prompt. Remember to include the stages here and come up with your response. Now, let me give my response here. If I saw an argument escalating, I would approach calmly and ask both guests to pause and explain their perspective one at a time. I would listen actively and summarize each person's concern to ensure understanding. Then I would suggest a short break or redirect attention to a neutral activity, reminding everyone of the purpose of the gathering. Finally, I would encourage a promise or mutual agreement, emphasizing maintaining a positive atmosphere. By intervening calmly, listening, and guiding them to resolution, I would help prevent further tension and keep the celebration enjoyable for all attendees. Now, let's break down this response. Okay, so the first thing I have acknowledged here. If you see here the first line, if I saw an argument escalating, so that means shows awareness, right? I have mentioned I would approach calmly and ask both guests to pause and explain their perspectives one at a time. So that shows empathy and awareness. The next one is action. Yes, I have mentioned my parts. First, I will listen, then I will summarize, then I will redirect, and then suggest compromise. So, this shows my action. And then the outcome, the last one, calm resolution, redirect, and then positive atmosphere demonstrates social intelligence. Got it? So, this is how you should try to break down your responses whenever you're practicing for respond to a situation task. Got it? If you want to fully prepare for PTE Core without failure, check out our self-paced course link in the description. We guarantee your improvement, and if you don't see it, get all your money back. More details in the description. That's all for today's video. Bye-bye.